Hello everyone and welcome to episode 3 of Ask Anagen. Today on the show I have Jenna, who just got back from vacation.
Hey.
And then I have Mark, who's going on vacation. Today we have kind of a cool show, a bunch of things again going into the new season of summer. The first question that we had come in is actually a client of ours, and she was wondering, she's definitely into this new regimen of fitness and finding herself in the pool a lot, and she's wondering what she can do about her having blonde hair and the effects of chlorine.
Yeah, I think that's a really great question. A lot of blondes particularly suffer from getting that greenish kind of tint to it. In chlorine, there's actually compounds of copper that are found in there, and once your hair gets wet, your hair cuticle opens up. So that copper goes into your hair cuticle, and once that starts to oxidize, it turns to green. And it actually happens to brown hair too.
Yeah.
But you just can't see it as much on brown hair because obviously it's a darker color.
Right, and that's why when they're getting chlorine damage, it actually makes their hair color look just warmer, which they're able to make that work. However, though, in this situation, okay, cool. So basically, it's copper oxidizing to green, and that's why we're seeing that tinge.
Yep. I mean, think of the Statue of Liberty.
Right.
Why is it green now?
Right.
Yeah, right.
That makes total sense. So in that way, for Stephanie, what are things that we can be doing to prevent that?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, if you damp down your hair, put maybe like a leave-in conditioner or a moisturizer to kind of fill in that cuticle. You can braid it too. Wear a hair cap when you go in the pool. Yeah.
Cool. I think that the things like conditioner and things like that. That's a really good idea. One thing that I was also told too is going in, cold water rinse, going out, cold water rinse. Because again, in that sense, you're just keeping the cuticle slammed shut as much as what you can.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a terrific idea as well.
We have, there's a couple of things that we've been doing in salon and having great result with it too. There's products like Crystal Gel, which in that sense, it's an in-salon treatment, but you're gonna be put under heat between 30 to 45 minutes. And what that basically is doing, that product is taking everything out of the internal structure. So that's another option for Stephanie as well. So hopefully we gave you enough context to what your next steps are to keep you blonde this summer.
If I can add one more thing to the green blondes and such like that after pool work is a good cleanser. I think having that buildup of chlorine in your hair from a teenager to beyond, people that are always in the pool, get a good cleanser and do that once or twice a week, and you will definitely love the results after that as well.
Absolutely.
How about that?
That's been one where Undugu in that sense, it's a vitamin C based product. You can get it really anywhere. It's made by Malibu. But the thing that I liked about that is it's able to be that clarifier that's going to take those off, but it's not going to over clarify the hair.
Right.
And get it to a point that your hair is so snarly that you can't get through it in summer. So that's a really good point. Cool. So there we go, Stephanie. Tons of steps to take to keep your hair looking great this summer.
Keep it clean, not green.
Oh, no.
Anyway, green basically in beauty is usually not a good thing. So anyway, our next question comes in from Laura, and Laura basically, I'm imagining, she said that she has very dark hair, and that every time when she goes in to get highlights at this time of year, she always leaves the salon feeling brassy. And Laura, I love this question because right now we have this brand new color that's been added in from Schwarzkopf, and they're called high power browns. And the reason I'm really excited about them is typically in the past, when you're lifting that dark of hair, we're going to be exposing an undertone, right? And the reason that this color line I'm excited to tell you about is they've built these in a way that will lift you to caramel, not to blonde, because again, we're not trying to make a contrast show out of this. But it's going to lift you to that perfect place of brown, but depending on where we started with your hair, we can actually basically counteract that undertone that you're seeing brass. And what we're really doing, if you came in and you said, my hair always goes brass, I'm going to use something that has blue within it, right? Because I want blue to really cut that. So that's one area that I would go into and say to you, Laura, it really find a salon that has either this color line, and again, it's high power browns by Schwarzkopf. I think that's going to take you to a good place. The other thing that you can always be doing though is making sure that you have really good product on the hair when you're going in, so that if they are using a product like that, they're not lifting through buildup and stuff like that. That's one thing that I also find, you know, being that you have darker hair, you're able to really coat your hair in silicones and stuff like that. And sometimes we're putting that lifting product on. If you have a lot of buildup, make sure that you let your stylist know, because our product is meant to work on clean hair in that application, and we want to make sure that it's actually going in and starting, because even in there, if it has to lift through, you know, if they have a lot of buildup, 15 minutes, that color is not designed to do that. So make sure you're setting yourself up for success there. Do you guys have anything to add to that?
When it comes to the caramel, not brass, as a stylist, I think it's super important to remember, if you don't have a line like ours,
Right.
or you're lifting with bleach or something like that, just to remember your color wheel, to correct that right away, and talk about that in your consultation. Because if they're saying it and you're not giving a solution right away,
Right.
as a client, I would feel a little uneasy still, right? Maybe this is the second or third person you're seeing for the perfect caramel highlight on a brassy end. As a stylist, give them that confidence to be like, this is how I'm going to make sure you don't leave with that today, and explain that.
That's a really good point, because I mean, again, when you say brass to you might actually be a red-orange color, right? Or brass to you might be a orange-yellow color. So in that sense, I think by having that communication with your stylist and letting them know what color you're seeing and not liking, that can even help us out a little bit more, because that truly is a game of, am I using a blue-violet tone, or am I using a blue-green tone to correct what I need to there? So. Great question, Laura. So thank you for fielding that one in. Hopefully we can keep you out of brass this summer. Thirdly then, in Stoked's first guy's question that we've had on the show, Bradley messaged in that he's been growing his hair out all winter, just really having it be unkept, and he's looking, now that things are warming up, he wants to shape up as well, and was wondering what our perspective is to what's going on in men's hair in 2016.
Yeah.
I think right now, Bradley, you have so many options, right? You've been growing it out. So as a stylist point of view, I'm excited to get my hands in there and try something new. So my conversation is going to be big with you. But to go to the trend side of things, we're seeing a lot of men and men's color now. It's not just a haircut anymore. The man bun came in, and I think it's, to use the word feminizing hair for men right now, I think is a really great way to put it, but not to scare people off. Women drew on us for menswear inspired outfits, right? Now we're drawing on their trends. You've seen it already in Hollywood, and now we're seeing it behind the chair.
Sure.
So coloring the hair, however you want to, all colors go. Cut it short, bleach it out, go lilac, go purple, go gray, whatever you want to do, or keep it long, do the ombre. It looked amazing on Jared Leto, and people that have that great length that can pull it off, go for it. If you're in the stage of, you know, I grew it out and I'm loving it and I want to keep going, I'm doing that right now, you can kind of get bored. Ask your stylist next time you go in for like a maintenance trim, and ask them like, hey, do you have time to show me some new styling techniques? I found that the center part that I've been drawing on the female side of things has worked. I'm enjoying it, and I'm just at that length where it can tuck away.
Right.
That's one step to get me through this growing phase right now. That's the worst part about growing hair, you guys, is the growing phase.
Yeah.
You get lost in translation in terms of styling techniques, products, because 3 months ago I was using one product. 3 months now, I'm not using that same product anymore. It's a new length.
Right,
So,
because it changed.
right, it totally changed completely, and that's the joy of growing, because you get to experience more things, but at the same time, it's also like the bane of my existence. Like,
Totally.
ponytail, please.
And I think that, you know, the guys that have had in this transition, if you're definitely in a place that, yeah, you're like, you know what, this is good and I'm liking it long, it sometimes is about just debulking the shape. Because again, if you've never been into this place before and you're feeling like, oh, everything is just all this one length and just lays, right? Take a little bit of bulk out. That doesn't mean that your length needs to change. We just make the shape work differently for you. And typically I find by doing those type of appointments, the things that made your hair unmanageable, it suddenly is manageable again, just because you have a little bit of texture, but it's not short.
Right, and actually, Bradley, texture is huge in 2016 too.
Right.
With men's haircuts.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, at any length and really any shape right now. I mean,
Right.
the thing that I feel I'm doing a lot of behind the chair with my guys are, you know, it might be taking a look that's been, you know, very high and tight and grown quite long in like a pomp-like fashion, and taking it and layering the top so that you have one, you can still wear it conservative, but you also can wear it textured as well, and it'll be kind of dual purpose like that. So I've had a lot of that going behind the chair as well. So really, I think in this sense, Bradley, from the options of don't be afraid to talk color if that's something that you're ready for. From the perspective of if you want to keep growing, I think you definitely have your next steps there. I think too, Mark, I mean, understanding that as a guy that as our hair gets longer and if we've never been in that place before, understand that product is kind of like the oil to your car, right? When it's done properly and you're using the right thing, it's just naturally going to run better. So looking at it to a hair perspective, making sure that you're talking to your stylist and using the best product at the length of hair that you have and at the abundance so that you can wear it, right?
Exactly.
Because it's about confidence, really. Like, no one wants to be going around and be like, oh, I have all this length and it's really uncapped, and like people usually call me Quasimodo and things like that, right? Did Quasimodo have hair?
I don't know.
Oh.
I think you have a hunchback.
Quasi in the sense that, and we're not against hunchbacks either. Quasimodo in the sense of you're sticking out in a crowd and not wanting to.
Right.
There we go. So Bradley, yeah, in that way, make sure that you're talking with your stylist because there's a ton of options out there.
And from a stylist perspective, don't be afraid to suggest, right? Like guys are gonna come in like, I don't like shine in my product, I want this kind of hold. Well, your hair's not that same place, so you need to suggest something or they're gonna give up, and that 4 months you just tried getting it to grow, completely lost. Because the next time they come in, they're gonna be like, can you just cut off? I'm sick of this, right? So have, on our end, take that lead and teach them how to use it. Because when you take someone from my length and say they want that drastic change to a short one,
Right.
and for styling, they don't know what to do anymore. They've forgotten 6 months ago.
That's a great point, and I have that happen all the time. It's like, you've had your hair cut this way before, it's just you haven't done it recently, so you forgot how to do it.
Yep.
Right? And that's like that's the human condition, I feel, in that way. Cool. Wow, that was another fast episode.
Yes.
Cool, so Mark, have a great vacation. Jenna, get ready to work.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for tuning in to episode 3. Please message us on any questions that you would have, or leave them in the comments below, and keep watching and sharing. That's all we can ask.
Thank you.
Bye. No, maybe. Kind of.